Hey K-pop lovers! You're tuned in to K-pop Fair, where every story hits your heart like your favorite beat. Sometimes, it takes just one look to break the walls we've built for years. And on that day, Jungkook's walls came tumbling down, all because of Taehyung. In a world where soldiers keep their emotions buried deep, a single tear from the golden magne was enough to send the military and the fandom into a frenzy. It wasn't a stage performance. There were no bright lights, no scripted lines, just two men standing side by side, and a connection that spoke louder than any microphone ever could. Jungkook's eyes turned red, his voice trembled, and yet, he smiled. It was that kind of smile you wear when your heart is overflowing but you're trying to keep it together. And then there was Taehyung, calm, steady, unshaken. A gentle touch on the shoulder, a soft smile, and a gaze that said, "I'm still here," like on the first day. For years, fans have speculated, joked, cried, and laughed about the bond between these two. But this wasn't a rumor. This was raw, unfiltered proof that some connections don't fade, they deepen. Back in their early days, Jungkook was the shy kid who had just moved to Seoul. Taehyung was the warm soul who made sure he never felt alone. And now, years later, it was as if nothing had changed. The camera didn't just capture faces, it caught history. Every glance, every small gesture, every second of silence was drenched in years of shared laughter, secrets, and quiet understanding. Social media erupted instantly. Hashtags like #TaeKook #JKCryfortae, and #LoveLikeDay1 shot to the top of trending lists. Fans edited clips of the moment into videos set to soft, melancholic music, the kind that makes you want to hold someone you love just a little tighter. One fan wrote, "You can call it friendship, but that look, only the two of them know what it means." Another said, "True love never fades. They're living proof." This wasn't just another military sighting. This was a reminder that love, in any form, doesn't always need words. There's a language that only two hearts understand, and Jungkook and Taehyung have been fluent in it since day one. Whenever they're in the same frame, something shifts. The crowd fades. The noise dies down. It's as if they step into their own private world, a world only they can see. Body language experts even weighed in, noting how Taehyung naturally regulates Jungkook's emotions. He's the first to console him, the first to hug him, the first to bring him back to center. And maybe that's why Jungkook cried. Not out of sadness, but because in that moment, standing next to Taehyung, he felt safe enough to. He wasn't the global superstar. He wasn't the soldier. He wasn't the untouchable golden magne. He was just Jungkook, the young man who, years ago, found a home in someone else's presence. As Taehyung's hand lingered on his shoulder, Jungkook looked down, breathed deep, and smiled again. A smile that seemed to say, "I've been away for so long, but you still feel like home." To the casual onlooker, it might have seemed fleeting, just two friends sharing a quiet moment. But to ARMY, it was a reminder that some bonds aren't for show. Theirs is a connection tested by distance, time, and the relentless pressures of fame. And yet, here it was, still standing, still strong, still warm. Taehyung didn't need to say much. He never does. Because when it comes to Jungkook, his actions speak in a way words never could. Every look between them carries a history. Every smile is a conversation. Every touch is a promise. Even after years apart, after enduring separate paths in the military, the spark between them hasn't dimmed. If anything, it's brighter. Jungkook's tears that day weren't a weakness. They were a confession. A quiet, wordless confession that nothing has changed. Behind the cheers, the flashing cameras, the public image, there's a story. A story that began in a dorm room, grew in the shadows of the stage, and has endured through every storm. That day, we didn't just see two idols. We saw two hearts that, no matter how far apart, always find their way back to each other. And maybe that's why ARMY reacted the way they did. Because deep down, we all know, this wasn't just a moment. It was a chapter in a story still being written. One that reminds us, real connections aren't fragile. They don't fade under pressure. They don't break under distance. They adapt, they endure, they deepen. The way Jungkook looked at Taehyung wasn't performance. It was memory. It was trust. It was love in whatever form they choose to define it. Even in a crowded room, their eyes found each other. And in that split second, it felt like the rest of the world disappeared. It's moments like these that remind us why we watch, why we follow, why we believe. Because sometimes the truest stories aren't told in words. They're lived in silence. So now I'll ask you, after seeing this, after feeling this, do you still doubt? Or do you believe, like so many of us do, that some loves never fade? Because if this moment told us anything, it's that for Jungkook and Taehyung, day one never really ended. That's it from K-pop Fair, your ultimate K-pop destination. Remember, stay sparkling and always follow your heart. See you in the next video.
I've been doing fine. I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb. And I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up. Cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my